You should not be surprised about this. There's no reason why you should be surprised about this at all. PlayStation 5 ROM keys have been leaked, and before you know it, if not already, the PlayStation 5 will be broken wide open where nothing can be done about it. Sony won't be able to do anything about it, and this is not the first time this happened to one of their consoles. When I look at this, I just sit back and laugh because, like, look, Sony's security is the worst. I mean, their consoles, their online service, something's always happening. This has been going on since like 2010, 2011. I'm not really surprised. So I got a couple articles I want to talk about when it pertains to this and give my thoughts and opinions. So if this is your first time here, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate you guys trying to get to 1,000 subs, and we're just going to get into this. All right, now let's jump into this over here. PlayStation 5 ROM keys leak. Jailbreaking could be easier with boot ROM codes. You still won't get a jailbroken PlayStation 5 with this leak, but it will be making it easier for hackers to compromise the console's bootloader. Listen, you're not going to get the jailbroken leak with this particular thing, but the fact that all the keys have been leaked and basically Sony can't do nothing about it. It's unpatchable. And they can do something about it, but it's going to be very costly. And I will be completely surprised if they do anything about this. So let's go ahead and look into this article and let's get into it. The PlayStation 5 ROM keys have allegedly been leaked, meaning anyone that can get their hands on the hex strings now has the hardware code that will allow jailbreakers to try to decrypt and analyzes the console's bootloader. According to CyberSec Guru, this is an unpatchable problem for Sony because these keys cannot be changed and are burned directly in the APU. The only way that the company can invalidate the leak codes is to replace the chips on yet-to-be manufactured units, meaning consoles that are already in the wild could possibly take advantage of future jailbreaks stemming from these leak codes. Now, Sony can do something about this as far as replacing the chips on manufactured units. What is one of the big problems that's going on right now in the world of tech? Chips, RAMs, and all this storage prices are going up. And I don't think that it may not even be worth it to go ahead and do that on top of you having issues with the PlayStation 6. Also on top of the world in general are at the race to the bottom to get to this AI war or AI storage war. So everybody's taking up RAM, everybody's getting chips and all this other stuff. This may not be a good idea for them to do that, but we'll see. When you turn on the PS5, the CPU runs the boot ROM code that's baked into the chip and uses ROM keys to ensure that the bootloader is valid. Now that the ROM keys have been leaked, assuming that they are valid, which they probably are, I would say probably like 75 to 80%. I would say that's the percentage that they're valid. A hacker could then decrypt and study the official bootloader and potentially use that as a starting point to understand how the PS5 boot system works. Since the issue is at the hardware level, Sony would not be able to release an update that will stop the consoles with the compromised chip from loading kernel-level exploits in the future should one become available. So basically, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when at this point. If they got this far to get this information from the PlayStation 5, you best believe it's going to happen within probably by the end of the year. I would not be surprised. Note that this leak does not automatically mean that we will see jailbroken PS5s on the market right now, especially as Sony has other security measures that hackers need to bypass. However, the appearance of these codes mean that one of the biggest security features of the console has likely already been compromised, making it easier for those working on creating custom firmware to have a deeper understanding of how the console works. That knowledge may be built and modified, even a totally different operating system for it. Listen, it is going to happen. At this point, it's going to happen because they've gotten to the point where it is hardware it's hardware coded. It's not nothing that they can do a software update to fix this. Now, if they was to go and change the chips into the PS5, it's going to be costly. The rise in prices of consoles are already a thing, and if they have to go do this all over again, that either one or two things are going to happen. It's either that the console prices are going to go way up, or they're probably not going to do anything about it at all. So this is an issue that it's probably going to end up breaking the system open. I mean, that's just basically what it is. And I can't see it no other way. And like I said, this is not the first time this happened. Let's go all the way back to 14 years ago in 2012, where well, almost 14 years ago, October 2012, where Digital Foundry and others found out that the PlayStation 3 has the same issue, or it had the same thing happen to them, where the security keys were released. Sony is waking up to a new PlayStation 3 security nightmare after a day in which a new brand new PSN-enabled custom firmware was released for hacked consoles, swiftly followed up by publication of the console's LVO decryption keys, which some say blow the system wide open. Now, these LV0 keys were the straw that broke the camel's back. No matter what happens with the PlayStation 3 at that point, it was always going to be jailbroken. Even to this day, their custom firmware that continuously is one step ahead of whatever Sony does as far as updating the PlayStation 3. I think right now, I think the PlayStation 3 is up to like 4.8 or 4.9 or something like that. It's way up there because they've been doing a lot of updates for the the Blu-ray disc player and all this other stuff. But it doesn't matter. People are still jailbreaking the PlayStation 3. There's no way to get around it because of this. We've been here before. Over 2 years ago, the first piracy enabling firmware USB dongle combo PS jailbreak was released, which exploited the weakness of the PS3 USB protocols, allowing for the system hardware to be patched in order to run software running from the hard disk. So I remember this because I have a jailbroken PS3 myself, and like with the jailbroken PS3, you basically can run games off the hard disk you like easily, not just PS3 games, PS1 and PS2 games. I wouldn't be surprised it's going to happen to the PS5 within the next, I would say by 2027 or late 2026, this is going to be a thing. So they tried to do, the firm response was firmware 3.60, and 3.55 was the one that tried to kill everything. But once they got there, the LVO keys, it was a wrap. Even with the 4.3 update, it didn't work. And like I said, right now they're up to like 4.9 or something, and the PS3 is still is still being jailbroken. So I would see this going to be a thing where the PlayStation 5, this is going to be a thing within the next 8 to 12 months. These guys who jailbreak these things, they do it at a fast pace. They don't play any games. And to be honest, I'm not necessarily caring one way or another. The way I look at it nowadays, these companies, I know they have a business to run or whatever the case may be, but when you purchase a product off of their store, it's technically not yours anyway, because you own the license, not the game. But then again, when I do buy a game, let's just say I buy any PlayStation 5 game, it's mine to keep if I have the physical copy. They can't take it away from me. The digital side should be the same, but I understand why the companies do this, because they're not going to make money if every console was able to run like GOG. I mean, to be honest, once you get a GOG game, I can get a game off the PC, turn around and copy that game and put it on another a PC without any problems. I can't do that on my PlayStation 5. I can't take, let's say for instance, I have Tekken 8 on my PS5. I can't take that game that I purchased and move that to another PlayStation 5 off of let's say one of these. Like what is this right here? A USB. I can move any game off of a GOG with this, and it'll work just fine when I move it somewhere else. That doesn't work with any game that you buy off the PS5. So when I look at the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox or Nintendo or whatever, if you bought a game, it should be yours to keep. And like I said, when you buy these games or purchase the license of these games, they're not technically yours. So I don't have an issue with this. It is what it is. Now I know that opens up the world for piracy. I don't do anything as far as piracy go. That's not my thing. I buy my games, and I don't mind having the games and purchasing them. But at the same time, the digital space is a little bit different. You don't necessarily own those games that you purchase, and that right there turns into somewhat of a gray area. How I really feel about, once I put my money down on this game, I should always be able to have access to that game no matter what. And I think that in some cases, in most cases, if you lose your account or if they take your account away from you, you can't have access to those games that you purchased. So jailbreaking, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. At some point, I will probably end up jailbreaking this thing anyway, probably like 10 years down the road when they stop supporting the thing, and then it is what it is either way. So I don't have no ways about this. It is what it is. Um what do you guys think about it? What are your thoughts? What are your opinions about it? Do you feel like this is justified? Are you cool with it? How do you truly feel about the PS5 ROM keys leaked? Before you know it, it's just going to be blown wide open where anything and everything could be used. All type of stuff going to be happening, and it is what it is. I mean, are you for it? Are you against it? Do you don't like this jailbreaking side of things? Let me know what you guys think. Anyway, I'm gonna get up out of here, and I will see you guys. I plan on going live later on tonight. As a matter of fact, I might play a game on my PS5. So I'll check you guys out then if you come through, and I appreciate you guys. All right, y'all. I'm out. Peace.